Good morning everyone and welcome back. This is Anita of Mean 40. Today I wanted to show you my morning routine as I apply all clean beauty products. So if you are thinking about switching to clean and effective ingredients, then you may be interested in this episode because I will walk through the steps in which to use the products to maximize the results, but also talk about the key ingredients that are found in each of the products that I've used and have grown to love. Let's get into this. The first product that I apply on my face in the morning after a warm wash is the toner. And this one is a new product. It contains 3 really important ingredients: AHA, BHA, which is known for chemical exfoliation to get rid of all the dead and blemished skin cells on the surface. And then it also contains kombucha, which is a fermented form of, a lot of people enjoy having it as a drink. So for this one, I apply like 3 drops onto my cotton pad, and then I just swipe it in an upwards motion, starting with my cheeks, because that's where I feel a lot of the hyperpigmentation is. Now with the sun coming out, some of my dark spots are darker, and then I'm getting a lot of little ones across the cheek here. So as I do this motion, I also focus on the neck because that's an area where I don't want to forget about either. It can be exposed to the sun. It feels refreshing because you're wiping away some of the oils of the night. So then I finish off with 3 more drops on my fingertips, and then I pat it into my skin because I want to make sure that I'm getting a lot of this good stuff to really penetrate under the surface. It doesn't have a scent, but I love the fact that it's in this big 150 milliliter bottle. So it's really great value. So I'm just really generous with it, making sure that I get it all over my face first step in the morning. The Korean beauty really values essences because they're a concentrated form of a moisturizer, and the texture of it is so lightweight that for people with dry skin, it'll really help hydrate. And then for people who have a thicker barrier on their face, it will ensure that this goes deep within to get it working. So this I feel is mandatory for me because I'm focused on hyperpigmentation. It's a vitamin C serum, and 2 pumps of this is really good for the entire face plus the neck. And I want to focus on the cheek areas because the vitamin C will really help make sure that we erase the dark spots and the unevenness. And then I apply it onto my forehead and then onto my neck. So this one is a great starter product for anyone who is new to vitamin C because it has a 10% concentration. Some vitamin C formulas, they start off with 5, and that's great if your skin is super sensitive, but the Beautycounter one is stabilized. So even at 10%, you're not feeling any irritation, and it also contains turmeric to boost that radiant, making sure that we have brightness in our skin. So this one I really recommend to people who are curious about vitamin C because like other ones, it doesn't tingle as much. And then I move on to 20% when my hyperpigmentation is at its darkest. Next serum is optional because we've already gotten some of the antioxidant properties from the vitamin C, but I like to continue on because I also want to focus on firming. So that's 1 pump, and I use 2 pumps of this. The key ingredient in this is Bakuchiol or Bakuchiol, and it's a plant-based form of a retinoid, which helps with firming, lifting the saggy skin. So I focus on this area and then just pushing it upwards. And then the neck, which is prone to wrinkles because of all the activity that I'm doing on my phone. Just patting it in. It gives a good amount of hydration. My skin feels so moisturized right now. The scent of light rose is so pleasant. And then when you take a look at my skin, it's not sticky and it has a little bit of a bounce to it. I love this serum. I think it's wonderful for those who are focused on fine lines, wrinkles, firming, and sagging. I think it does a great job of making sure that we are replenishing some of the antioxidants. The next step is an optional one, but on days that I feel that my skin needs a little bit more moisture, I apply a facial oil. This one aids with the brightening because it contains some citrus ingredients. Unlike some of the other oils I've tried, the texture of this is really light. It's not greasy, and there's also no fillers. So I like the fact that it contains grapeseed oil, which is a really great lightweight oil. It absorbs really well into my skin, especially in the winter months. So in the summer, I tend to skip the oil and go straight to the sunscreen. And this is absolutely key because of what we used before. We used the AHA, BHA, and we used the vitamin C. I want to be sure that I'm applying a really generous amount, and then I use the peace sign method. So I'm applying like this much onto my face. I will show you that despite it being a mineral sunscreen, so there's no chemical filters, it blends and absorbs so well into the skin without leaving a white cast. I really hate the discomfort of a white cast sunscreen, and I hate the fact that I have to constantly keep rubbing it into my skin. So I'm tugging and pulling sometimes with some other brands, but in this one, it's very, very pleasant. It's so easy to absorb into the skin. I don't need to do much, I just tap it in, and then I focus on coverage. So I make sure that I'm getting all the areas, including my ears, which are prone to sun exposure, and then my neck as well. It feels so comfortable. So there's no stickiness, no greasiness. So I find that it works well for multiple members of the family. And I also like that dewy glow finish that it leaves. So for me, sunscreen is such an important part of my morning that I really want something that I will enjoy putting on, and this is one of them. The key ingredients are zinc oxide, which are a natural mineral form of sunscreen, and it doesn't contain any chemical components that can leach under our skin and into our bloodstream, so there's a lot of comfort knowing that too. These are the key ones that I would focus on if you're short on time. If you wanted to take it a step further, it's also very easy and simple. So this is a product that I overlooked and I just recently got into because of medical esthetician friend that I have. She views a primer as essential. So if your foundation is not sitting properly, you're seeing creasing or it looks cakey, she told me it's because you're not wearing a good primer. And her and I both fell in love with the Beautycounter primer. It contains natural jojoba beads, which if you can see from the bottle here, there are like these little micro beads that when they go onto your skin, they provide the hydration and the necessary coverage to act as a base. So you need that barrier between skin and makeup, not only to protect your skin, but also to get that flawless finish. And that's what I've been missing out on. Like, I thought primer was optional, but now it's become a part of my essential, especially if I'm wearing foundation and I am extending it for a long period of time. This will ensure that your foundation stays intact throughout the day. So this is also 2 pumps for me. Julie says you can get by with 1 pump for your entire face, but I really like the glowy dewiness. Being Korean, I think that that's a really nice look. Oh, I just got distracted because the texture of this is very cooling. It also just sits so nicely. And then I put this on my neck too, but I just love how it feels. I also think about if I want to wear eyeshadow, I put on the primer on my lids to make sure that there's no creasing of the shadow. And then what I'm feeling right now is a really nice sort of veil. It's very, very thin. It's evenly distributed. So if you can tell the glowiness I really feel a difference in the days that I wear primer versus the days that I don't. So if you're finding that your makeup doesn't look as nice as you expect it to, especially if you're using a higher end foundation or a nice tinted moisturizer, you probably want to give the primer a try. It helps fill those fine lines if you're concerned about that. Gives you a nice uniform texture. And so that's what's important about a primer. The Beautycounter one, it doesn't have any unnecessary fillers like silicone. It doesn't feel waxy. It feels really nice, almost like an extension of skincare, but that necessary foundation before you start applying more makeup onto your skin. So even with multiple layers, I'm gonna do a close-up. The skin just looks really natural. I'm not doing anything fancy. I just use my hands. So there's nothing to clean afterwards. It's easy and quick, and yet I still get the skincare look that I really love. So there's a blemish here, and so maybe I'll apply a little bit of concealer later, but I'm okay with this overall look because it's quick and it helps me get that natural glow without looking like I've done too much. It's that traditional Korean no makeup look. So I hope that this video has encouraged you because clean beauty can be very easy and simple. I especially love the Beautycounter products because I don't have to read labels, I don't have to think. I know automatically that they are ethically sourced. The packaging is just beautiful. Like this toner is 150 mils, so you're getting a lot of great value and it'll last a long time. The ingredients are stabilized to make sure that things like vitamin C, they don't spoil, they don't turn a nasty color. So overall, I'm really happy and confident to recommend these products to my friends. I've been using them for a long time and I've been seeing some really great results. I do work for Beautycounter now because of the fact that I'm enjoying their products so much, and I'm learning a lot about toxicity in ingredients and also the advocacy work that Beautycounter does, because we're very close to amending legislation to make sure that some of the toxic ingredients are banned from the beauty and skincare products altogether. So we're really working towards making sure that there's awareness out there of what we're applying onto our skin, and eventually that helps to get better skin. So better ingredients equals better skin. So I really encourage you to consider this, give it a try. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. I love talking about skincare, and if you tell me your concerns, I'll be able to recommend a suite of products that you're comfortable using so that you can get and reach your skin goals easily. So let's keep in touch as we go about our skincare journey in our 40s. Take care.